Hey guys, it's Tyler. Channel update here. Thanks for getting the video on punching power to almost 1,000 views. I was gonna do something stupid and wait for it to get a few more so it crosses that 1,000 views, but it's 5 of those views are probably gonna be bots. Probably way more of those views are bots anyways. It's a silly milestone to celebrate, but thank you guys. I've got a lot of good engagement on that one. I just wanted to explain my martial arts background here and explain who I am and why this channel is Flame Zombie and why it's not Flame Zombie HEMA or Flame Zombie Role Playing. And that's sort of an easy question to answer. This is a variety channel. It's my channel. I'm Tyler. It's just the channel, right? Most of my favorite channels, Ramsey Dewey, Max Bonvin, although his is Reactionary Principle Gaming, the late great Shawner, they focused on a few areas, and they probably have, like myself, a lot of subscribers that are just here for one thing or the other and get kind of annoyed for the other videos on there. I apologize for that. But I'm not going to change anything. I find there's a lot of crossover between particularly HEMA, but martial arts in general and the role-playing communities. I say communities because there isn't one of them, just as there isn't one martial arts community. And I'm just interested in putting a lot of stuff out there. I find that branching off a lot of different channels on anything just gets really annoying, having to switch accounts constantly. And I miss the days where YouTube was more like that, where I didn't have to be subscribed to a million different channels. I didn't have to search far and wide and find out, oh, this guy's got a cooking channel. Well, I'm interested in cooking too. I've just missed out on all these videos because they were uploaded on a totally different channel than the other one. So you can never please everybody, and I mostly do YouTube for myself, although I really appreciate you guys for being here as well. Let me turn off my monitor, get this glare off of my glasses that's bugging me. So yeah, Flame Zombie, I think I mentioned in another video, it was just the randomly generated Xbox Live gamer tag that I got given. It's like Flame Zombie and then 2 or 3 numbers. And I just stuck with Flame Zombie. That's it. No crazy trick to it. So that's me. You can call me Tyler. You can call me Flame Zombie. I don't really care. My martial arts background started when I was in elementary school, practicing Shorin-ryu karate, which is one of the really old styles. A lot of people are very confused when I mention that. They like, the guys that know their styles within karate are like Kyokushin, Shotokan, Goju-ryu, and I'm like, yeah, it's the closest to that one. So I did that for a few years. I got my brown belt when I was in late in middle school, and then I moved and fell out of contact there. I always went to train for my black belt, but if you know the kata and shorin-ryu, they're so complicated, and for lots of them, you have to make a lot of 45-degree turns and then end roughly in the same position that you started in. And if you're so many feet off of that, then you'd fail. And man, it was tough. I was so bad at memorizing the forms. I was pretty solid at sparring, except for that time I broke my toe. But yeah, so be it. It's a very traditionally oriented class, and the sensei did not pick favorites on that one. Don't think he's still teaching, and my memory from those ages is so bad I don't remember his name. Unfortunately, I tried looking up Shorin-ryu classes in Oklahoma City, and I can't find any today, so the guy probably retired, possibly moved, I don't know. Let me know if you know anything about that on the off chance. Then for a long time, I didn't do any martial arts throughout high school until my junior year. I started finding out about this HEMA thing online through guys like Scala Gladiatoria, Lindy Beige, et al. Although Lindy Beige didn't do a lot of HEMA. I think he just made a couple of videos on it, and I happened to find out about it through that. And so I started studying the treatises. I got Guy Windsor's The Swordsman's Companion, and one of the translations of Sigmund Ringek's Knightly Art of Fencing. So a general how do you do this HEMA thing book by Guy Windsor, who has a lot of fantastic drills that I still use to this day, particularly on footwork, and Sigmund Ringek. Those are the two guys I started with. And then I started watching guys like Federico Malaguti and started doing some Fiore. And then after practicing that for about a year, just with friends, starting a club at my high school, I found that, hey, the best longswordists in the United States are literally like a 30-minute drive from you. Yeah, I felt real dumb about that. I was like, no wonder I'm constantly getting my ass kicked by these guys. It's the literal like best people in the world. Jeremy Pace, Derek Nash, some fantastic instructors in Kyle Tully and guys I know now, Ryan Hetchler, Kaylin Hamilton. Yeah, Kaylin Hamilton, who has risen to the third best women's longswordist globally. Big congratulations to her. Also a fantastic harness fighter. I sparred with them, went to a few of their classes, went to the 4 weeks of their like introductory class where they just sort of throw a bunch of different stuff at you, went to some of Kyle Tully's dagger classes, religiously watched his DVD instructionals on dagger fighting. Then I was a broke high school student and didn't have a car. So I was just kind of going to classes as I could and as I could afford them, sneaking into the free classes here and there. Sorry, I'm not paying you guys as much as I could. Going to Renaissance fairs, doing as much as I could with them there. And at the end of all of that is my move to college and my realization that, wow, well, if I thought I was broke and didn't have reliable transportation before, now you're all of a sudden in a fucking desert. And this is one of the reasons that I don't do competition very often. Lots of people ask, not lots of people, I should say occasionally, like maybe twice a year I get asked, oh, do you guys do competition? And I go, not really. And there's three main reasons for that is I don't really like the typical rules that people use for longsword and the like. I don't like that there is a lack of ringen, the wrestling, cash wrestling involved. I don't really like that there's no period or what exactly are we trying to recreate with this rule set. Is it a judicial duel to first blood? Is it a fight to the death? If so, why don't we have X, Y, and Z? Whole can of worms. I may get into that later. And the travel expenses. I mean, just entry fee to a lot of these tournaments has gotten up to $40, $50. Your prize pool, Ryan New on Ramsey Dewey's latest podcast was mentioning, it's like, you win these Sanda competitions in the United States and you get like a little $5 medal off of Amazon. And I was like, yeah, it's the same in HEMA. Sometimes it's a little better. Sometimes you may have like a nice fetter or something to take home, maybe a small cash prize pool or some gift cards to somewhere. But you're spending $50 to potentially get injured, and then you're spending another $50 in gas, and you're spending hours of travel time to actually get to the place. You spend an hour waiting for gear check. You finally get to spar in pools. In pools, you're matched with one of the best people. Oh, right. They send you the loser's bracket right away. Tough luck. It happens. 50% of people get sent to loser's bracket. That's just the way it works. Okay. Then you're in loser's bracket and you spar another one of the best fencers in the world because They got unlucky, and they also got sent to loser's bracket, either because the judging was bad, or because they just hadn't warmed up yet and they were a little off their game, or because they got matched with another really good, even better guy. And so if you're middle of the road, not amazing, well, you've just spent 5, 6 hours of your day to spar twice and potentially get injured and be out of work in a, as Mr. Max said recently, a fake and gay economy, where you're very potentially just totally screwed, missing house payments, missing car payments, this, that, and the other. And so, wow, I looked at that and I was like, but damn it, I really want to do this. And I thought, well, I always have an imposter syndrome about it and about a lot of things that I do, because I was like, could I just start the club myself like I did in high school? But I'll be teaching college students now, and it turns out there's not a big difference. Well, the big difference is lots of times they are way safer, and it's a much better environment to teach. It's much easier to teach than it is to teach high school students, and part of that is I've learned the ways not to teach. So I went, well, I can honestly tell these people I'm the best HEMA guy in an hour, in probably a 40-mile radius. Because, yeah, if you expand that to a 60-mile radius, all of a sudden I'm garbage compared to a lot of these guys around me. But you'd have to drive an hour. You'd have to pay $60 a month. The price of entry just becomes way higher. The opportunity cost, how much time you're spending each week just traveling. I mean, you're spending as much time traveling as you are in the actual classes. Maybe the classes aren't teaching what you want. I teach some unique stuff. I teach catch wrestling. I'm the only guy in Oklahoma that I know that teaches catch wrestling. Funny enough, my boss is the only person I've ever spoken to in Oklahoma that knew what catch wrestling was on first conversation. So I thought, screw it. If I can find enough people, I can get some loaner gear together. I can maybe rent out some place, become an official club at OSU. So we're an official club at Oklahoma State University. We spar at Stillwater Martial Arts. Come swing by if you're ever in town on a Sunday. We're hoping to add an additional class too, so that should be awesome. That's pretty much it. That's where I am now. There's a lot of stuff in between here and there where I've taken classes here and there. So I did boxing for a little bit. Not a fan of boxing, as it turns out. It's a great martial art, but I am not a fan of the modern rules, and I'm certainly not a fan of the state of the sport. Celebrity boxing is awful. What else did I do? Done some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'd like to get back into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'd like to get back into doing karate more than just the forms, make some karate videos on what I think a lot of the more odd movements in the forms are. This. I took a class of capoeira. I did Wing Chun for a little bit. Yeah, so that's just my background. And why you probably haven't seen, you won't find my HEMA ratings if you look me up. It's non-existent. The only tournaments I've done have been ones that either didn't get submitted or somebody missed and didn't submit my name. Although I never placed particular. I think the best I've ever done at any of the tournaments I went to a couple in Washington, one of which I got my thumb smashed up at, and was out of work for a summer. So that was fun, especially when you don't have any medical insurance and you just had to tough that out. And luckily it was no big deal, but yeah, it's like you don't have a thumb, you start thinking, well, I pretty much can't freaking do anything. Your thumb's splinted up, you're trying to type on a keyboard and it's just a mess, and I'm a writer by trade. So yeah, that's that. I could start to talk specifically about what I would like to see changed in tournaments, but I think this video is long enough in the tooth, and I just want to thank you guys again for the great support there. 1,000 views, almost at 150 subscribers, and with my eclectic content, I'm very surprised about that. Let me know what content you'd like to see from me in the future. I know Mosaic suggested maybe a collection showcase. Well, I have some vinyls. I have more than that. I have another hanger to put up over here. I think I'll make it a little more even. I do model kits right now. What am I working on right now? I'm working on the Real Grade Astray Gold Frame, which I found in an open box for a really good deal. Really like the color scheme on this kit. This thing has taken me for freaking ever to build, though. It's this high gloss plastic and very little parts, very sharp, very precise build. So you have to be very careful about where you're sanding so you don't get that high gloss sheen off too much. And then, of course, the gold is that injection molded gold plastic. So if you take the nub off too much, it's got this ugly, like, the non-metallic look to it. So that's something I've been working on. I don't know if I mentioned this already because I've refilmed this video. I've been having like crazy video block recently. Pathfinder 2nd Edition review. It's coming super slowly because every time I open that book recently, I just get frustrated and I'm like, I can't do an unbiased, natural review of this because I just go, you had well over a decade to find what worked, what didn't work, and you didn't solve so many of the issues, and you changed things that were, to my mind, non-issues, and it's just, maybe that last one will be the last video of Pathfinder 2nd Edition, because they've also got the remastered thing out, which is asinine to me. So asinine to me. Your game has barely been out, 5 years? And you've already got a remaster? But Pathfinder 1st Edition is just sitting here dust-covered, despite being one of the most popular RPGs for over a decade. And you said, you'd never... Pathfinder's just Pathfinder. It will never have additions to get an Edition War. And that's part of why it frustrates me so much, is... you kind of feel cheated, right? When they went back on that. Now we have to get engaged in this stupid sunk cost fallacy versus is the new content better? I hate it on principle. And if you're interested in seeing some, not rage bait, but just some ranty content like this, but on Pathfinder 2nd Edition, let me know. Otherwise, I'm probably just gonna... I'll leave it there. Maybe make a video if I find something particularly interesting to talk about, but I think I might be done with it for now. Sorry to disappoint anybody on that front. All right, I'll see you guys because I'm rambling here. Bye.